Well, here we are in my Blazer. If you pardon the mess in my car, I just come back from fishing. We're going to talk about the heater controls. Now this is in the manual control, not the automatic control system. I'll try to explain to you how this works. First of all, the blower switch, like any other, so you got your 5 speeds. You got your recirculating air, you got your air conditioning compressor, you got your driver's side heat and cold, your passenger side heat and cold, you got your various positions of where you can force your discharge. If you go into defrost, your compressor will come on automatically. And anyway, then this is your rear window defrogger. Now, this is the switch that controls the whole shebang. You get a little light on there. This one here, this switch here, in this position, the rear heating and air conditioning system, heating and cooling, does not operate at all. If you put it to R, that throws the controls to the rear heating and air conditioning panel that's located on the back side of the center console. If you put it in the first position or the second or the third position, that's the blower speed. See the little fan there? It's the blower speed of the rear motor. You've got a front blower here and a rear blower here. But while this is here, you can control the temperature by moving this one up and down. The passenger side heater control gives you hot or cold. If you turn it to air conditioning, while this is in any one of these 3 positions, 1, 2, or 3, you control the heating and air conditioning from the driver's seat or from the passenger seat. Remember, the passenger side temperature is what the rear is going to be. And this is going to set up where it's going to come out. I mean, you don't have a defrost in the back, but you got your lower floor split difference and in your face type of heating. And that is going to make the rears switch the same way until you put this in the R position. In the R position, the rear control takes care of everything. So you have thrown the command off of here. This is not working, and this is not doing anything, and all the commands on the inside, on the rear, are under their own control. And that panel is here. We're going to step outside and spin around and go into the back seat and try to miss my fishing poles. Okay. Anyway, here's your rear controller. It's kind of like the front controller, but here's the rear controller. Here you can set the heat the way you want it, and the fan just came on in the back. I was going to tell you about the time delay. This is the blower speed. You can hear it going up and down the speed. And then this is the positions. This will give you half and half. The discharge comes out at about your hip level and over your overhead. Comes out of the overhead up in there. And there's 4 ducts on mine. And then the side heat comes out over in here. You can't see it for right now, but there's louvers over in there. Okay, so this is the temperature setting for the rear. If you want hot, you'll get hot. If you want cold, it'll turn on the compressor if the command has been relinquished by the front. You can't turn the compressor on from here. The compressor has to be turned on from the front. Hope that's understood. Okay, now let's go to the back so you can possibly identify the rear blower. Get my fishing pole out of the way there, and we will open the tailgate. Here. It's cold out here, boys and girls. Anyway, there's that rear control panel. Pardon my fishing gear. But there's the louvers right in there. And you can probably hear that. There's a car coming. Let the car go by. But you can see from the dust on the louvers that there's air going in there. So you got louvers here, and there's air going in there, and louvers here. And there's a rear blower in here. Okay? There's also, I think, 2 stepper motors. Yes, there's 2. And they control, does it blow on your head or way down on your hip area, or does it hot or cold? Now there's one other thing to consider. When you put this in any control position, doesn't really matter. You give the command, give the control to the rear with the R, or you turn the whole thing off, it doesn't matter. That'll be off, it won't go on. But 1, 2, or 3, the blower will not come on until the computer thinks it can solve the setting, the temperature setting. Now if I'm controlling the temperature setting here, and I got it in air conditioning, I got the compressor turned on, which I don't right now. But if I had the compressor turned on, and I had that in air conditioning mode, until the evaporator in the back is chilled sufficiently, the blower will not come on. The reason for that is, I guess they don't want to be blowing uncontrolled air to the back on your head or on your side. The rear controls do not affect the heat that comes out under the console. Because under the console you got ducting from the front that will warm the rear seat's feet. The feet of the rear seat. Anyway, so that's what you got. Hope you understand that. You got control up in here until you turn it off here. You turn it to R position. The controls in the back. Yep, the blower fan just come on. So obviously it's in the heat mode back there, and it can satisfy the heat. It can generate enough heat. So that's how it goes. And it won't come on. This won't come on. The blower won't come on until either there's hot water back there, hot coolant, or the evaporator is cool enough to chill the air. I think that's kind of neat. General Motors always does that on their climate control system. They do all sorts of neat things like that. Anyway, that's the way it is, boys and girls. So there's the video, I promise you. Bye-bye.